Hey guys, today I thought we'd have a bit of a casual chatty video to give you some updates on my little old man Zinc, because I don't think I've really talked about him that much in a while. I talk about him a little bit in vlogs and stuff, but he hasn't had his own dedicated video for a while, so we're going to chat about him today. For the few people who have no idea who Zinc is, this is Zinc. He is my gorgeous little male mouse. He is an intact male, which is why he has to live alone, in case you're wondering about that. And as you probably assumed from the intro as well as the title of this video, he is a senior mouse. He is an old man. Now, we don't know exactly how old he is or his exact age, but based on the amount of time we have had him and the youngest he could have possibly been when we got him, he is at least over 18 months of age. And he is a feeder mouse, which means unfortunately he does have a slightly shorter lifespan of about 18 to 24 months. So this is kind of why I'm making this video. This is kind of why I want to do this update. Because I try to do this when my animals start to get older. I do try to make you guys aware of what's happening, so when that time does eventually come, it's not as big of a shock. And especially as we have, of course, lost both Iodine and Osmium this year, who are also elderly animals. I just want to make sure that this is something that people are aware of. This is unfortunately the downside to having multiple senior animals in your home at the same time. These things do happen, and they do end up passing away quite close together, which is emotionally very difficult, but it's kind of the price you have to pay for living with these really, really wonderful animals, even if they do only live short lifespans. It's totally worth it. It really, really is. Even though they're only in our lives for a very short amount of time, they fill every single second of it with smiles and silliness and quirkiness, and it really does make it worth it in the end. And I am sounding a lot more casual about this than I actually feel, but that's because I spent some time before filming this video just sort of talking to myself about this, because I'm not all into the publicly emotional stuff, so I didn't want to be that way in this video, because I really don't want this video turning into some big sad thing, because he's still here, he's still with us, he's still going, so we shouldn't be sad right now. But it is an important thing that I need to talk to you guys about, because I don't want it coming out of left field when it does happen. So let's talk about how Zinc is doing right now. At the minute, he's not showing too many signs of aging, but he is definitely showing some signs. The first one I noticed was that his glossiness started to fade. He is looking a lot more kind of greasy. He looks like somebody's been rubbing their greasy hands over him. So that was the first thing I noticed, and that started happening about a couple of months ago. And his fur has also started thinning out as well, especially behind his ears, around his eyes, and on his snout. Again, very normal, common sign of aging. Up until very recently though, those were the only big signs that he was getting older. Those were the only things that really made me start to worry and prepare myself for what's coming. But this last couple of weeks, I've also noticed that he's sleeping a lot more than he used to. It's not that he's less energetic. When he's awake, he's still very energetic and runs around and explores things, but he does sleep for a lot longer. He doesn't come out as often as he used to. He always used to beg to come out every time he was awake, but he just doesn't get up as often anymore, and I've really noticed that. And now when he is asleep, he's sleeping much more deeply. Before now, I could walk into the room and I tried to make as little noise as possible, but as soon as he heard me in here, that was it. He was up, he was awake, he wanted to play, he wanted to interact. But now I come into the room and it takes quite a while for him to even notice I'm in here, and I've had so many death scares over the last couple of weeks. It's not even funny. My heart can't handle it. I had one just this morning. I came in to say good morning to him, and he was sleeping on his little blue hammock, which he loves so much, and it's out in the open, so it's easy to see him, and he looked really comfortable just lying on there. And I came over to say hello, and I said his name, and he didn't respond. I could see he was breathing, but he wasn't responding to me, and I kind of freaked out, like, oh my goodness, it's happening. This can't happen right now. I can't deal with this today at all. But luckily, that wasn't what was happening. He was just in a very deep sleep, and it just took him a few minutes to come round and realise that I was there. And once he realised I was there, he got all excited again. So that's at least something. But seriously, that I can't, with the number of times I've thought this week that he had either passed or was passing, and he's just doing that thing that they do that everyone hates. I swear that the stress from keeping rodents has probably shaved about 10 years off my lifespan. Other than that though, right now he is still eating really well. Like I mentioned, he's still very active when he is awake, and he seems to be okay. I'm not seeing any other obvious signs. However, he is my first mouse, so obviously I'm basing my experience of aging off my experience with hamsters aging, which is going to be slightly different. Of course, I'm also researching on mouse forums to make sure that I know what to expect with aging, but there's a really big difference between book knowledge and hands-on experience. My hope is, of course, that he's going to be around for as long as is reasonably possible. I'm hoping we're still going to have him for a couple more months, but you just don't know with rodents. I mean, Osmium's a good example of that. Iodine we were very much prepared for because she had really started to show signs of aging sort of mid-December time, and she passed away early January. So we knew in advance what was going to happen, and we knew coming into 2019, we knew based on their ages alone that we were probably going to lose all 3 of our rodents this year. And of course we already have lost 2 of them. Zinc is our last remaining rodent, and it's not a fun topic to have to talk about. And the sad thing is there's no perfect way of predicting when this is going to happen, because I can mention all the good things that, he's still eating well and he's still active, but the reality of it is that once rodents start to age, especially really small ones like hamsters and mice, it really can happen at any time, because they are ultimately such delicate little creatures that they can go from being healthy one day to passing away within a few days of symptoms showing. So we are, of course, really hoping that he is going to be around for as long as possible, but looking at it realistically, I mean, he could be with us for another 6 months. We have no idea, but he could also only be with us for a few more weeks or even a few more days. We don't know. There is no way for us to predict when this is going to happen, which is why I want to talk about this now, because I know when I lose a pet, obviously that's incredibly hard for me, but I also understand that a lot of you guys have emotional attachments to my animals, and when they pass it can be just as difficult for you. So I think it's really important to be transparent when they start to age, and to try and prepare you guys as much as I try and prepare myself. So that's more or less all I want to talk about in this video. I just want you guys to know that right now he is okay and he's only showing a few signs of aging, but be realistic about it and just start preparing yourselves as I start preparing myself as well for what is inevitably going to happen at some point. It sucks, I know, it really sucks. But yeah, it's part of keeping short-lived animals, and you have to kind of decide whether all the good stuff is worth going through this all the time. For me it is. For other people I can understand why it isn't. But yeah, I'm not really sure how to end this video off now, because it's a bit it's a bit of an awkward video. So I will just say goodbye and leave you with a few more clips of Zinc to enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a couple more days with a new video. Bye bye!